Come on. There we go. Going live can be tricky sometimes. Well, I'm on Nipissing here, enjoying an afternoon of fishing. I'm in the hut. Just have to get the lighting right. I'm just opening and closing windows, really. January 7th, and the ice is just under 8 inches. So, it's nice and easy to drill a hole these days. I can tell you that much. Drilling takes like 30 seconds. Nick Bruce says, good luck out there, Coke. So far I've caught one small walleye and one, medium-sized perch. I lost one while I was, not paying attention. Tends to be how it rolls. So somebody was asking me if the lake is frozen right across or if there's shady ice in the middle of the lake. I don't really know. It would really surprise me if it wasn't frozen right across the lake, because I can see across the lake and it all looks like ice to me. But, I also can't fly, so I couldn't give you the bird's eye view. Okay. Great night. Good luck out there. The area I am fishing is along the North Shore. It is between North Bay and Sturgeon Falls. So along that area, good perch grounds out here. All right. I'm reading messages as they come. David Bennett says, did I measure the ice today? I did measure it. I brought out my ruler. I didn't make a video of anything. I just was going to mention it in this live report. It's just under 8 inches. So it's slowly building, and I think tonight it's going to be negative 16. So that should add some ice. I have been hearing about sketchy ice in different places. Josh is asking me here, or pardon me, telling me 2 miles out it goes to sheet ice and it's really sketchy. That's scary. That's scary stuff. I have seen a few snowmobilers going around. I don't know if they're going right across the lake because, I can only see so far with these old man eyes of mine. Okay. Sorry, I missed a bunch of messages there. Anyway, yeah, I've heard about different areas having shifty ice. So everybody's got to be careful out there. Obviously, I don't think this is the time to be driving your truck on the lake. I can tell you that. Oh, they extended the lockdown? I was wondering if that was going to be happening or not. So I haven't checked the news at all. One guy said that it is going to be extended. I feel bad for the people who can't get out, or this lockdown's really messing with them. I know I've usually have several trips planned every year where I have buddies come up. I've got a lot of friends in Toronto and whatnot, and they usually come up and hang out. And the lockdown in the spring and this lockdown has sort of totally thrown the plans for a rip. Okay, yeah, guys asking me if I still recommend spudding. I haven't been spudding on the walkout here, but I know in my area there's 7 inches of black ice. If you hear about an area where where people are saying it's sketchy, I definitely recommend spudding, or any kind of signs that things are shifty. But out here, I've measured 7.5 to 8.5 inches of ice consistently, so I've stopped wearing the extensive gear and bringing the spud out. And like I said, out this way we've got the black ice, so it's less worrying. It's a pretty amazing thing when you're catching a fish now, because you can see it, if you clear the ice out. So the black ice is great, but I know in some areas they were talking about gray ice and a mixture, or a little bit of black and a little bit of gray. Sorry, when I'm leaning in like this, I'm trying to read messages. Uh, I know it kind of looks a little weird. Where'd those messages go? Okay. Russell Lamb. I was there last weekend. A few perch and a couple small walleye coming back up this weekend. Sunset Point. I know a lot of people set up on Sunset Point there. Like I know there's a great launch there, and a lot of people get out in that area. I have a few friends who rock that zone. I've never tried it myself. Maybe I did once. I went to a person's hut that was there. Got a few perch, that's for sure. Obviously, it's a pretty popular spot. Big Win Hunter coming up Monday and Tuesday. First time ever on Nipissing. I don't think. Sorry, I got interrupted there. If you have flashers and fish finders, buzzers and whistlers, make sure you bring all those up with you. It's great place to try them out. I must say that underwater cameras out here don't always work the best. You know, if you have one, you got a short range, I guess. I'm just trying to perfect the lighting in here. Yeah, you know, the ice report vids are pretty fun. Every time ice report season comes around, I get pretty amped. As you can, as you can imagine, I'm super hyped about the ice forming, and definitely doing the ice reports and knowing that people care about them encourages me a lot, because you know there's nothing like coming home from work and you're like watching with eagle eyes out your window. You're like, what's the ice doing today? And you know, it's surprising. It changes every year. It's always weird how the ice forms, and it's different every year, and there's different things that are really nifty that happen. Like you get sheets of ice that just wash up on the shore in these massive, like crystal clear mountains. That'll happen in the spring, but sometimes it happens when the season, or as the ice is forming, and that's really cool. And sometimes you get sheets of ice floating around in the lake, and they sound like champagne glasses, like clinking together. That's really cool stuff. I tell you, it's pretty awesome living on the lake and watching this all go down, and it's really neat to get to share that with you guys. And you know, I started ice fishing, boy, has to be at least 10 or 12 years ago, and something about it. I'm sure you guys all understand. Okay, what? Don't hide. Live. Okay. So Russell Lamb says, what lure are you using today? 15 feet of water. I'm in 17.7 feet of water. I've got a rattler, big rattler on one line, and on the other line I've got a dead stick with live shiner on there. And sort of like this. So far today I had one fish hit a rattler and one fish hit the dead stick. The dead stick I had maybe 13, no correction, it was at 13 feet, over 18 feet of water, and the fish came right up and grabbed it. And the walleye I caught today was probably 10 inches long, but it was on a Rapella Rip and Wrap, which I'm sure if my brother's watching, he's probably, you know, cheering for that, because that's one of his favorites. But it was funny, the walleye hit the Rapella Rip and Wrap when I also had the minnow dead bait like 4 feet away, so something about that lure attracted him more than an actual, did I say dead bait? I meant to say dead stick. It was a live minnow. David Bennett says, how far of a walk from your place? It's about, I guess where I am right now, it's about half a kilometer out, maybe a little bit more. Sometimes I go out like a full kilometer. You know, I always wondered if like closer to shore there'd be action, but anytime I've ever tried, even though I get a lot of action there in the spring when I'm, you know, in the canoe, spring and summer, I fish a lot along the shore there. In ice fishing season, I don't seem to catch much. Maybe I need to give it a better shot, you know? Yes. Ripping wraps. Oh, sorry. Ripping wraps and did you say slab grabbers? Here we go. We got a fish on the rattle bait. Oh, it's a wally. All right. Come on. There we go. Nice little 15-incher or so. Back in the water with you. All right. It is really cool being able to see the fish through the hole here. That's really cool. Oh no. Well, that'll have to just be a feature of the live video. I knocked over my action camera. Yeah, pretty sweet to catch a fish while you're sorry, got a bit of a tangle here. Whew, I got my heart pumping a little. So that's the lure I'm using. It's a Sebile lipless crankbait, and it's a largemouth bass color. They don't make these guys anymore, I don't think. So I ordered a whole bunch, and I don't think I've lost too many of them, but for some reason I always end up putting on that largemouth bass color. I don't know why. why they would like it, because I don't even think I've ever caught a largemouth out this way. I know they're in the lake though. Yeah, so it was a nice little catch. I'm surprised that he went for that over the dead stick minnow. Guess they're active today, you know. Let's see if I know a lot of times when you get one of those guys coming in, you'll get a few more. You know, sometimes I'll tip it with a minnow. A lot of times I'll use salted minnows. I'm not like the wizard of fishing though. I know when I was fishing with Fish Chaser 67 from the Lake Nipissing board, him and Cranman there, they liked using just like a minnow head. They get a live minnow, chop off the head, and then they just use that. Sorry, I got a fish looking at my lure. Oh, damn. I think they're starting to come in here. Yeah. Hopefully we see a keeper fish come in. There's definitely something looking at my lure right now. Pardon me if I'm distracted. Come on, bite it. Come on. It's looking hard. Bite it. Just do when you got a fish who's looking at your lure but doesn't want to bite it. You slowly just move it up, or do you just like dead stick it and see what happens? I've had times where I like just really ripped on my lure, and by the time it fell, the fish that was just sort of nosing at it decided to actually hit it. Sorry, my heart was pumping there. I know that's why we all fish, for the excitement. Yeah, salties. Yeah, I love the salties, Ian. They're a great way to have something inside your like I keep them in my hut all the time, just a container of them. Whenever I'm short on bait or on live minnows, they work great. Live minnows always obviously are really good, but the salties, especially for perch, I think once they get a little bit of flavor, they're always going for it. Peter's got the Striker 4. Sorry, where'd that message go? Yeah, you know, I've made salties with teriyaki sauce. Sometimes I put garlic on them, all sorts of stuff, you know. And a lot of times, you know, that little bit of extra flavor makes them go. Sometimes you're like, oh, they're hitting teriyaki today. Or you're like, oh, it's the sriracha. But yeah, salties can make a difference when they're not biting anything. And I've had times where my best performing rig of the day would be just a very small jig head, or an eighth size jig head with a big old salted minnow on there. No action, like no movement whatsoever. I don't have my underwater camera out today. Haven't given it a shot. Sorry, I just had some strangers buzz me here. I need to charge the battery on that underwater camera. I'm starting to think, though, it would be a good time of the year to do it because the ice is so thin right now. Whoa. Oh, man, there was something big. Maybe he'll hit while I'm looking. You guys ever find that when you're not paying attention is when the biggest fish... Come on. Right on. Well, I appreciate new subscribers, man. You know, I don't know how many guys are live streaming from ice fishing locations. I'm sure there's a few. Yeah, there's a massive mark on my Striker 4 here. Come on. I think he's looking at my live bait. Ah, yes. Pound the bottom with the rattle bait. That's a good idea. I'm going to try that out. Because I got a real looker here. I know one guy was telling me he takes like a piece of chain on a rope and just like reefs it on the bottom to get stuff stirred up. Oh, we had a hit. To get stuff stirred up for the perch and whatnot. Stir it up and just let it hang for a minute. All right. So it's a real nice day outside, let me tell you. It's a little chillier than you'd think. I think there's a bit of a breeze going that seems to crank it up a notch. I haven't seen the MNR out yet. I usually see the biologists come around more than the officers do. They're always coming around, asking to measure my fish and what. Totally hit there. Real tap. Yeah, usually the biologists come around 3 or 4 times a year, and every once in a while I see the enforcement guys. I think one guy showed up on the last day one year and checked everything out. You know, I've heard word that people are starting to put their bungalows out. I think I saw the South River Resort posted something about getting their bungalows out, or at least being hopeful they'll be getting them out. There aren't too many people out today. I mean, my neighbors are out here, and in this area, it's not like a super packed place, so we get probably like 15 or so huts around here. Sorry, there's another fish looking at my thing here. Sorry. Focusing. Yeah, so there's a few people out. I've seen a few snowmobiles going around. I always find it kind of funny because I'll usually stay out here till after sunset, and usually a lot of people will go in around now. Sorry, I saw a message there that looked like a long one. My ice transducer came with a pool noodle style thing, like a little smaller than a pool noodle. The smaller the foam piece you have, probably the better, so it doesn't hog up your hole, unless you're making bonus holes for your transducers, pardon me. Yeah, I usually like staying after dark. I usually find like right as the sun goes down is when the bite really cranks up a notch. Whereas I know a lot of people in this area are probably fishing for perch, and a lot of these guys will be out here way earlier than I am. Like, you know, just because I'm staying late doesn't mean I'm any more. You know, I'm still slacking getting out here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But yeah, I think people catch perch a lot during the day here, and then and then they get, I think the sun sets at 4:49, so it's easy to go in and have dinner and not be have dinner too late. I can tell you that towards the end of the season, when you can be out here at 7:30, that's when it's, you know, you start interrupting your dinner routine to get your fish on. That's when you gotta have dinner on the ice. So just come on. Yeah, you know, you're right. I have had a few last minute jumbos, last minute pike too. Will just show up, and then after the sun goes down, nothing. We're on 8 inches of ice today. It's very slowly building. Quads or sleds out there. There's definitely snowmobiles out. I even saw a guy in a side-by-side. There was an Argo out the other day. No cars or anything like that, and I probably would avoid that for a few weeks. But there's definitely snowmobiles and quads out and side-by-sides, at least in this area. I'm not sure if any of you other guys watching here are in Calendar Bay or around North Bay. I haven't had a look at the scene in there for a while. Hope I'm not missing anybody's questions here. Yeah, you know, somebody told me that a Jeep went through the ice somewhere, and I was sort of in disbelief that anybody had even tried that yet. But I have yet to be bitten off by a pike when fishing for perch. Maybe, like, are you using really, really light line? Because I think I've got probably 10 to 12 pound fluorocarbon leader that seems to handle pike really well. 28th with ice bungalows. Yeah, it will be sweet when this COVID business is finished. Let's see, how's the water clarity? You know, I'm only really seeing from the top here, and it looks good, but I need my underwater camera to get a good test of that, probably. Yeah, I find that like a 12, 15 pound fluorocarbon leader is fairly immune to pike and their teeth. I don't even think I've lost too many in the summertime. Usually they just pop off the hook. That's the worst thing that's happened to me. I don't think I've ever used a wire leader, but you know, a lot of times I'm just sort of going for the middle ground, trying to fish for whatever bites my line. So that'll be bass, walleye, pike, and whatnot. So I usually just aim for a 10 to 15 pound fluorocarbon leader, and that seems to do the job for not getting bit off, as well as not being too intense for the pike or for walleye and stuff like that. Oh man, that snapped your line as soon as it bent. Oh, I hate that. I think like one of the worst things when you're ice fishing is when you have a fish right at the hole and then you lose them right there, so you see them and then you're like, ah. Like if something hits and it's way down and you lose it, you're just like, oh, that was really something. But if it's right at the hole, or like you're reaching, you're trying to, he comes up the hole once and pops back down, and then you don't get him. That's when it's the worst. But I've pulled a few great saves, reach into the hole and grab the fish right out. I'm sure everybody's got a story sort of like that. Huh. A Meigs. You know, oh man, I do believe I have some Meigs somewhere. I haven't given them much of a chance this year. Of course, I haven't had much of a chance to fish. I got a GoPro camera running at the same time, but you know, just trying to film for real fishing, fishing for real. Yep. Okay. Sorry. The ice is 8 inches. Thank you, uh, Jamie, for helping me out there. Yeah, you know, like I've had a few times where the lure has popped right out of the mouth of the fish when its head is actually out of the water. And I remember there were a few times. Once it was a lake trout, and once it was a pike. And even though they had both of them had like some pretty intense teeth, I just grabbed it anyway with my bare hands and hauled it out because I was just like, I can't lose this fish, you know? You know, there's some kind of fish down here that keeps looking at my bait, but he doesn't want to go for it. So I'm going to try something a little different here. Maybe put a minnow on. Yeah, the carbon monoxide detector, you know. I know these huts like this one that I'm in right now is pretty, it's got lots of ventilation. I think like from what I understand, the Big Buddy heater that I have has some sort of sensor on it that's supposed to stop you from getting carbon monoxided. Let's see what I got here. So, but yeah, I was just talking about that this morning because I heard in the news somebody was camping or something, and then it was in South River, and it was carbon monoxide, or people are speculating it's carbon monoxide poisoning, so be careful. That's scary stuff. Whoop! Shoot. Looks like I got a fish. Ha! Right on. I had a fish on the jaw jacker, but the jaw jacker was frozen. Whoop. Let's get another. Okay. Seems like the fish are coming in. Let's see if I... So time to put a headlamp on or something. Okay, hold still, boy. So there you go. That's another 15, 16. Back down the hole he goes. That's exciting. Nothing like catching fish live. Alright. Well, I guess I gotta get back to getting another lure on here. Yeah, you guys are right. There's been long debates about the jaw jackers, and the rules are that as long as it's not loaded with a spring, that it's cool. If it's just the tension of the rod, sort of like a downrigger. I know it's been highly debated. You just can't have a spring. That's the important thing. I know that if you look around on Google and whatnot, you can see that there are some pretty crazy spring activated hook setters for different kinds of fishing, which obviously would be illegal to use, but they actually have like a big spring on them. Huh, Chris Weber. Haven't heard from that guy in a while. Up in the Arctic, eh? You're watching this up in the NWT. Sorry, I'm trying to pick my next lure here. I got nothing under the water right now. So I got to put a new minnow on my dead stick. I wonder how much data this eats up. we All right, let's see what we got here. Boy, I sort of froze my hands a bit handling that fish, so I can tell you that I'm trying to avoid getting hooks in my hand here. 5 gigabytes an hour, right? That's. I guess at some point I'm gonna have to stop this thing, 'cause 5 gigabytes an hour is pretty extreme, or at least that. Whoa. Yeah, so that's a Sabio Vibrato Glow Tiger or something. I'm sure Rogers will appreciate if I go over my limit. They're always there to charge me extra cash. Yeah, I've caught like all sizes of these vibrato lures. I've caught all sorts of things on them. And when it gets real slow, I like to get this little. It's like some kind of a shiner pattern, brown shiner or something like that, and that seems to get them no matter what. But I've had fish hit big ones, lots of big ones. They love these lures, and watching one of these lures with the underwater camera is extra crazy, because you barely need to do anything to make them like wobble a huge amount, and when you really rip on them, they really they really vibrate like crazy. Gonna make use of my pocket over here to hold my rod for a second while I figure out this other rig. Oops. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how exciting it is to hang out with the Coke machine while he's re-rigging his rod, but but what not gonna bother stopping the tape here. It looks like I forgot my heater out here. Getting the old tackle box. Fish down there. Can I rig and fish at the same time? I say yes. There's actually 15-pound line. I guess this is all I got. It's a 15-pound line. Treble hook there. There's fish. Come on. They always show up when you're not holding the rod. Oh. Ah, burn. You know, I've never gone crappie fishing. I've heard lots of good things about it, though. Got some activity. Small rip and wraps, huh? And they love hitting this thing when I'm not holding it. So I got line in my mouth here. I haven't had much of a chance to ice fish so far this year. Of course, the season's just begun. But I can tell you this, is you forget about what it's like to try to tie a knot with your hand frozen. I just didn't think I was going to need my heater here. It's not like I'm freezing to death, but Ian, there is a video actually that I made that is about how to make salted minnows. Yikes. Yeah. There's definitely fish down there looking at my stuff. Oh yeah. Come on. Got a rig half tied in this hand, rod in the other hand. Oh, that was a hit. Damn it. Come on. There seems to be a group of fish down there. I think I'm going to put the other rod down. Or other rig, pardon me. They're tapping. They're tapping. They're looking. Hit it. And my screen is lighting up. If I had a better angle, I'd show you guys the flasher. I moved up to North Bay 9 years ago. I was living in downtown Toronto, right at College and Crawford Street there. It's pretty sweet. I loved it while I was there, but then my wife said she wanted to go to Nipissing University for something. She's like, how'd you like to move up here? And I said, right on. You know, it was great. Here we go. That what's hitting, what it's getting, dark, getting dark in here, so time to get the, okay fish, hold tight, hold tight. And you guys ever get a hook in the hand? My brother has got a few. I've managed to avoid it, but I figure it's gonna happen. So there's a nice chunky, probably 16 there. All right, back in the water. The walleye are out tonight. Yeah, he hit really light. He hit really light, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's not a bad fish, you know. But yeah, so I was asking there, and you guys ever get, oh man, this is great. This is a good time to be doing a live video, I think. It seems like they're down there. So I just had one, and then, okay. Yeah. So sort of bring it up again. Hooks in your hand. got a buddy who lives in Strathroy, which is close to London, I think. He seems to like it there. Biggest eye through the ice. I think it was 24 inches that I personally caught. But I know there's the one video I made with Fish Chaser 67, and he caught a real doozy. Biggest one I've ever seen. Yeah, you know, I'm surprised at the number of times my brother has hooked his hand. I don't know how he does it. I'm always just like, dude. One time we barely just got into a place where there was a bunch of pike and we're on a boat casting around. We're all catching, you know, hammer handles, like lots of fun. Then all of a sudden I just hear my brother in the back of the boat. He's just like, "Wah!" So we cut out there. There was one hook in the pike's mouth and one hook was in my brother's finger. And the pike was thrashing around and he was just like, "Wah!" He was swearing a lot, as you can imagine. Okay. SC1, hey Cole, can you do a shout out from my son to my son Ethan? Do you want me to shout him out right now or in one of my official programs? What's going on here? I'll shout him out right now. I'd like to give a shout out to Ethan. Thank you for watching the program. That's great. I hope you enjoy fishing as much as I do. I'm sure you do. What's your biggest fish, buddy? Oh, okay. Right on. What's your favorite kind of fish to catch? Let's see here. Yeah, the salties, definitely you leave them overnight with the salt on them in the screen, because I think that's how they make like fish sauce. They just put a bunch of salt on a bunch of minnows and then the juice that comes out, that's your fish sauce. So you can imagine. That was a fish. That was a fish. All right, all right. Can't give up. It seems like they're down there and they're hungry. I'm starting to think I abandoned my other line there. Maybe I should just put another lure on it and start trying that out. It's not set up for that. You know, I have another rod. Oh wait, here we go. All right. So I'm gonna have the vibrato, which seems to be kicking ass on one line, and then on the other line, let's see what we got there. You put this crazy Cabela's rattler with dangly doodads. I'm sure there's some sort of fancy name for it. Let's see who wins, rattler or vibrato today. We're heading towards an hour here. If this video ends up eating up 5 gigabytes in an hour, I'm gonna have to call Rogers, ask them to give me more gigabytes. All right, rattler's going down one hole, vibrato in the other hole. Yeah. Boy, sometimes like there were old rules where it was like 15 gigabytes or 15. I forget what it was. I had like six gigabytes, and then anything over that was something like $5 for 150 megabytes or something ridiculous. And by the end, you'd be totally messed. Or by the end, pardon me, you'd have one heck of a bill. Let's see. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the messages for a minute here, so I missed a bunch. Um, Sunfish, bass. Bass are great. You gotta love smallmouth bass. They're great to catch. You know, this is my first. This is to Dylan McDonald. This is my first time of being able to get out here for more than like half an hour. So I don't know how many I've caught here. I think I've probably caught three walleye now, and two, no, a perch and a small walleye. It seems like they're on the bite tonight. You know, I've tried chumming here. I've tried chumming with bits of smelt, chunks of minnow, stuff like that. I don't know if it makes a difference at all. I mean, I'm sure it makes a difference. It must make a difference, but is it that much of a difference? I don't know. Sometimes I worry that what you throw down there might send the fish away. They might not want it. I don't know though. Hey Jack, focus on your homework. Yeah, donations in the next video. Tell you what, like 50 people buy I Cook with Ice, and that should that should cover my extra gigabytes. I'm in 17.7 feet of water. I don't have my underwater camera out this morning or today, but I do have my Garmin Striker 4 rolling. So Craig says he's it's got to be a minnow or something. Huh? It's a minnow-sized walleye. Down he goes. So the ice is sketchy in Michigan, eh? Huh. What lakes do you usually fish in Michigan? Is that Green Bay you guys have there? You guys catch whitefish and stuff there? Calendar Bay is Ice Shack is ready to go on lake soon. Hope you're having fun. I got a spot for you here, Quinny C. If you want to set the shack up here. That's just exclusive to Quinn. Sorry. Checking the messages. This is definitely a challenge to do a live stream and fish at the same time. I guess it's a good way to distract myself. The leader I use is usually a 10 to 15 pound fluorocarbon leader, usually about 2 feet long. Jamie, if you go to forrealfishing.bandcamp, that's where you can get I Cook with Ice if you're looking for it. The scoop is that it will be on like Amazon Music and Google Music and all that stuff, but the thing is with Bandcamp is I actually earn more money from it, so I prefer if you go through there, because iTunes, you know, they're like, hey, tell you what, you can sell your track here, but we'll take 70% of the cut and give you 30. Basically, that's the way a lot of these places work, whereas Bandcamp gives me, I think they take like 15% or something. So, and plus on Bandcamp you can go and you can, if you want to like leave more than what the track is worth, you know, if you want to hit me with a tip, it's always appreciated. Yeah, it's the best place to get it at the moment. Yes, I do have a video, I think, about cooking a perch, or at least a recipe for perch. But yeah, I'll do a catch and cook at some point for sure. I'd love to do a video, if I catch a walleye that's in the keeper zone, to do a catch and cook of that would be great. I thought I saw a post from South River Resorts that said that they were starting to put out their huts, or we're going to be putting them out soon, or clam flat, whatever you want to call it. But it's a huge area, lots of clams. If you're fishing for clams, this is a great place to be, let me tell you. But I've seen in the perch stomachs are all filled with snails, so I assume whatever is bringing the clams in is bringing the snails in at the same time, right? Interesting questions I sometimes get. There are children watching. So, yeah, there are weed lines like closer into shore, but I really haven't spent too much time fishing them. I think I've tried a few times, but after trial and error in a whole bunch of different spots, it seems to be that I would have the most amount of luck in these clam flats. Now, mind you, like there isn't a lot of structure on this part of the lake. It's just the flats, really. But I know towards the islands and other islands in the southern part of the lake, there's a lot of to get into where you can get nice concentrations of fish. So just so you guys know, as the light is going down here, we're at 55 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cancel this, or pardon me, stop this live broadcast at 1 hour, because it is getting kind of dark in here. That's remotely better. There we go. But yeah, I figure I'm surprised I've been on for almost an hour. It doesn't, time flies when you're catching fish, so guess that's what's going on here. So I'm not sure what time it is, because the phone I use to judge time is the phone that's recording me right now. Yeah, ghost fish stories. Favorite snacks to bring on the ice? Peanuts, I guess. Yeah, peanuts, I guess. Peanuts, right? Yeah. Peanuts are okay. Sometimes, like I've sort of been on this, like, whoa, here we go. It's like a jumbo perch this time. Oh. All right. Mr. Jumbo. On the bad perch. I'm not keeping anything today. I often do. I guess if I was going to do the catch and cook, I should have kept that guy. But there haven't been that many perch yet today, so I think I've only caught the two. So this is the final 1 minute and 30 seconds of the video, guys. So thanks for watching. Let's try to double jig your way out of here. Let's see if we can get last bite. So it seems like the vibrato lure is the one that's winning. Let me see if I missed anybody's comments here. Thank you. What's the count of fish on the ice? I think there's been about 5 or 6, I think. Maybe 4. 4 or 5. 5, 6. Mostly walleye in the 15 to 16 zone that are not keepable. So they all went back. There was too many walleyes. Yeah, I should have kept that perch and eaten it. But tomorrow I think I'm going to be out again. So I doubt I'll be doing an hour-long live broadcast, though. Yeah. Unless they got some sort of sale on data. Yep. Those jumbos, when they're hungry, I've had them hit some of the biggest lures I've got. Like, a lot of times when they're really cruising through, you can drop just about anything down there. As long as it fits in their mouth, they'll be eating it. Yeah, it's definitely... You know, I've had years where I catch tons of perch, and then years where I don't. Or, pardon me, not I don't, but I don't catch nearly as many. Like, I've had some crazy years. And I figure it's just, cycles and whatnot, which, I'm sure it is. But yeah. But there's been some killer times to catch fish in my area, to catch perch, pardon me. Yeah, I always say the fish always bite when you're not paying attention. that's sort of, I guess that's sort of what that Ron Yum animation I made was sort of about. It was just like fish bite. I can imagine that perch would go for worms in the winter, but I don't think I've tried it out. Venison tacos, eh? That's great. I my whole, like, I do like deer hunting and stuff like that. And my whole season, I usually go down south to visit my dad, but because of this COVID stuff, I just hung out up here, and I was unsuccessful. I'm not particularly good at being in the hunting in the northern Ontario zone. Totally different vibe. In fact, I'm pretty new to the whole thing anyway. Yeah, venison is very, very tasty. Of the few deer I've managed to harvest over the few years, I've always really enjoyed the steaks, the sausages, tacos. Sound like a great idea. I don't know if I definitely have made burritos, but I definitely have done like a Tex-Mex style venison before. Very tasty. Got some perch. First trip on the ice. That sounds delicious. All right, guys, I have reached 1 hour, and I'm gonna have to go. It's been swell. I think you guys actually being here with me maybe gave me better luck than other days. But that's pretty sweet that I caught fish while live streaming. This doesn't eat up as much data as I think it probably is going to. I'll try to do more like long form like this. Why not, right? All right. We'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching For Real Fishing. Buy a hoodie, buy a t-shirt. I've got one of the hoodies on right now. Can't really show you because it's so dark in here, but it's nice and warm for ice fishing season. So we'll talk to you guys another time. I'll probably be making a video at some point of fishing